OCO, everyone. OCO. So, yeah, I can tell by the title that I'm going to do a series within the series. This is still season 2. I'm still going to talk about other topics. Like one moment I might talk about something that's dealing with astrology. The next moment, or episode rather, it's going to be on something else. So I'm just going to kind of blend it in. I'm multi-talented, multitask, and what better way than to say it than to show it. So here we go. So before I get into astrology, I just want to kind of like speak my piece, what's on my mind. So for those who feel that astrology is full of mythology, just full of fairy tale, like Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and other imaginary figures, so to speak. Really not imaginary when you look at the spells behind it. But anywho, astrology is not that, okay? And for those who can say otherwise, I'm going to get embarrassed as this season progresses because I'm going to prove left and right, side from side, north to south, south to north, east to west, west to east. Like I'm going to prove from every angle that astrology is not a fairy tale. I mean, how could it be? This is the first time I actually really took precise notes. Now, previous times I would take notes about someone else's perspective versus mine and then have a discussion about it. This right here is majority of my perspective, definitely from my lens, my experience. And of course, I did a lot of fact checking. So everything that you see, we're going to hear rather, it's going to be accurate, is accurate. And there were surprising things that I discovered. And I know a lot of people don't know me, so let me give a brief fun fact about me. When I take notes on something, I am not a visual learner. I am not an auditory learner. I do not like to write nor read. But yet I do like writing more than reading. So usually when someone don't like the other, they enjoy the other. Besides the one they don't like, which probably didn't make sense to y'all because I said it wrong. One, if they don't like one, they usually like the other. But me, I just mainly like to talk. But you know, that's what it takes to read too. So what's the difference? Well, let me tell you how the difference. I don't like reading other people perspectives because I'm gonna be fair and say 9 out of 10 it'd be garbage. I don't care for other people's perspectives like that. For those that I do, I cherish them, and I include them in my findings. So I didn't include no one in this today, but I'm quite sure as I progress and go along with astrology, I'm quite sure I'm going to acknowledge some names or whatever. But right now, this is just the introduction. I don't know how long this is going to be. Hopefully I don't have to split this up into 2 because this really is a lot of information just for the basics of it. Like, this is not me going into depths like, oh, the moon in Aries, the sun in Aries. Like, this is just me giving simplicity, like just the most fundamental details I can possibly give on astrology. And this alone is a lot to take in. So for people that say astrology is full of it, fake, make-believe, if it's so fake, why is there so much information about it? Why is it not introduced in schools? This should definitely be under the curriculum of science because this is just as deep, if not deeper, than calculus or any form of mathematics. It's a lot of numerology in here. It's a lot of now this is a new term that I created, which I'm gonna dig deeper into in this episode, which is I call letterology. Letters have energy to it, so it's a lot I'm gonna talk about. So for this to be quote unquote fake to some of y'all, I'm a little flabbergasted because it's like, for this to be quote unquote fake according to some of y'all. Like, why is there so much information on it? I didn't know a lot needed so much information. Hidden information at that, because some of this stuff I never heard certain astrologers talk about. Now, I'm not calling myself an astrologer, but I am going to call myself someone that's informed of astrology. Because it did consume a lot of my time to even just to take notes, let alone to talk about it. Oh, wow. So let's get right into it. What is astrology? So I'm going to start off talking about the internet. That's like a guide to a lot of people. If it ain't on the internet, it's not true to a lot of y'all. The internet said. Okay, what about the dictionary? What about your experience? What about the operational definition? But anywho, so for all the internet worshippers, here's the definition according to the internet. And then I'm going to get to my definition. So, according to the internet, astrology is an influence on human affairs in the natural world. Now, what stood out? I'm going to read that again. According to the internet, astrology is an influence. This is something that people is influenced by. This is something people live by. This is like Bible to a lot of people, okay? Influence on human affairs, on humans' day-to-day actions, activities. Influence on human affairs and the natural world. Now, I highlighted the word natural. Why is astrology only an influence, not only in human affairs, like we can all expect that, but why did whoever wrote this definition added natural world? I thought we was living in a natural world. Now, if anyone know me, y'all know I'm being sarcastic, because ain't nothing natural about this artificial system. Natural. I'm gonna read it. You know what? I'm feeling generous today. I'm going to read it a third time. According to the internet, if you're listening to my podcast on the internet, then you know what the internet is. Astrology is an influence on human affairs in the natural world. It's the natural terminology for me. we gonna get into that, y'all. We gonna get into that. Now, according to me, this is my denotation of this what appears to be connotation, definition of astrology. According to me, astrology is the 12 elements of the zodiac signs that formulates the design of our identity as living souls. So I'm going to be fair. I'm not going to read it 3 times. I'm going to read it 2 times. So I'm going to be lit. Yeah. I'm going to be more at ease right now, because I'm starting to sound like a parakeet. According to me, astrology is the 12 elements of the zodiac signs that formulates the design of our identity as living souls. So a lot of individuals don't know that. For example, I'm going to give an example. I'm not going to say it a third time. I'm going to give y'all an example. The third time is really a charm. I digress. Gotta take a breather. There's always a debate with the simple-minded. I'm not going to even say simple-minded. With the half-minded souls that exist. My sign better than yours. No, my sign better than yours. No, my sign better. No, my sign better. The best zodiac sign is the sign that can get in alignment with the other 11 placements within their zodiac natal chart. We all have the 12 zodiac signs within us. It's up to us to activate it. It's up to us to know which is which. In regards of how are we in the workforce? I said workforce. Wow. It's the fourth energy just interfering. Anyway, with the workforce, it's up to us as individuals to know and to be able to identify which energy we using through each matter we take on this existence called life. So for example, if you're midheaven, which I'm going to talk about that too, if you're midheaven in Leo, then most likely you're going to be the one self-assured in the workforce to the point that you might be the CEO, you might be the leader, or you might be the one that has more influence than the leader. So it's very important to know your position throughout each step you take in this life, because each step you take has an energy that's protecting it or guiding it, or it could be indirecting it if you're not aware of it and you're not activating your energy or using your energy as it's placed. So it's very important to be aware and to embrace that all 12 zodiac signs dwell within us, because I can tell everyone off rip. Who I am in a workforce is not the same soul that I am when I'm at home resting, watching television. Like, I'm not the same. It's not that I'm switching up. I'm just embracing another part of who I am. It doesn't subtract from me. If anything, it adds to the depths and the details of who I am. So it's very deep. It's something I don't take lightly, and no one should take lightly, but yet it is taken lightly because a lot of people, once again, just feel that astrology is just a fairy tale. But yet again, it takes some people a lifetime to find who they really are, find themselves. Some people don't make it to that discovery. Some people transcend with no type of healing, with no type of sense of self. It is what it is. It happens to a lot of us. Just don't be one out of us that it happens to. All right, I digress. So yes, astrology is the 12 elements that formulates our identity as living souls. So let's dig a little deeper, and this is all simplistic. This is just the basics. I'm not going into the particulars, not in this episode. I'm already 13 minutes in. And I'm not really focusing on the time. Like, I'm speaking on everything that I have in these notes, because it's worth speaking on. Like, I can't move farther with astrology if I don't touch on the basics of what makes astrology. Okay, so let's get into the 12 zodiac signs, because I know y'all heard me mention it. And to my surprise, a lot of people don't know all the 12 zodiac signs. Once again, a lot of people don't care to know. I remember being in high school. My birthday April 10th. So I met someone's birthday 2 days before mine, so that would make their birthday April 8th. When someone asked them what's everyone's zodiac sign, I was like, oh, I'm an Aries. And that individual said, well, my birthday April 8th, so I'm a Pisces. I said, wow. For those who don't know, Aries season starts March 21st through April 19th. And now I'm not talking about the 13th edition of astrology. I'm gonna get to that. That'll probably be the last thing I talk about in this episode. But I'm gonna get to that. This is the 12 factor right now. We're not talking about the 13. So I was shocked. I really felt that astrology was so easy and to comprehend, and it was just so fundamental that I assumed at the time that a lot of people knew about astrology, and that was a reality check for me, because no, a lot of souls don't know about astrology. As simplistic as it may seem, it's really deep, like mathematics, calculus to be precise. So let's get into it. Once again, the 12 zodiac signs. Let's talk about it. Aries season, which is the first season, spring. Spring starts off in Aries season, March 21st through April 19th. Taurus season starts April 20th. Yeah, 420. Y'all should know. To all the smokers out there, 420. So Taurus season start from April 20th to May 20th, which is my father's birthday. How interesting. Gemini season start May 21st through June 20th. Cancer season start June 21st through July 22nd. Leo season start July 23rd through August 22nd. Virgo season start from August 23rd to September 22nd. Libra season starts September 23rd through October 22nd. Scorpio season start from October 23rd through November 21st. Sagittarius, which is the season we in now, starts from November 22nd through December 21st. Capricorn season start December 22nd through July. I said July. See, I'm glad I took notes, because I would have ran with that. Capricorn season. Why I gotta mess up on Capricorn season? This is my moon placement. Come on now. Capricorn season start December 22nd through January. Let's get that together, honey. January 19th. Aquarius season start January 20th through February 18th. Pisces season starts February 19th through March 20th. Now, as I was reading this, I was quickly reminded that I have some side notes. So I'm going to read these side notes right quick before I elaborate on what I just read. So in my side notes, I said, why are there dates? So why does, like, for example, Aries season starts March 21st through April 19th. And let me say Capricorn again, just because I messed up. Capricorn season, December 22nd through January 19th. So why do these dates matter? Like, who cares? Like, why there can't be a different name for a different year? Like, woo woo, whoop de woo. So I replied to myself. Well, actually, I looked up some information, so I'm not worried. I'm not crazy, y'all. Okay, so each date represents. So each date was like precisely designed. Like, each date for every season is the date it is for a reason, because it represents the 30 degrees. Now, I told y'all briefly, though, it was real swift. If you didn't hear it, you're gonna hear it again. Numerology is an energy as well as letterology. Letters have energy to it. So not only do letters, but numbers. So in every season that I list equals up to 30 degrees. It's a 30-degree angle within the viewpoint of each sign. Zodiac sign, that is. For example, not all Aries act alike. Have you ever came across someone who was the exact same zodiac sign as you and be like, ew, we is not the same? And I'm glad we ain't the same, but how dare you be the same zodiac sign? Like, you an embarrassment. I know I said it. And I'm saying it again. Because I met someone where I was, around someone who have the exact same birthday as me. And I was like, ain't no way. I'm gonna need the Almighty to fix this. How dare? Once I dug deeper than just the surface of astrology, I later on in my life, in my early 20s, discovered that, wow, astrology is not only dealing with letters, but it's dealing with numbers attached as well. And I was blown away and relieved at the same time, because now I felt like, okay, I'm not ashamed of my birthday. Me and this person was not born at the same time. I'm not ashamed of my zodiac sign. Cause I would just meet certain people that be like, ew, you cannot be an Aries. Like, come on now. Get it together. But that's what separates those who may have the same energy as you, is the degrees. Now, I'm a 21 degree Aries. I know my degrees because I know the time that I was born. It is so important. I'm going to talk more about that as I progress through this episode. So, I'm going to read that again. Each date represents 30-degree angles within the viewpoint of each sign. For example, our Aries does not act the same because not everyone was born in the degree of the zodiac sign of that energy. So like I said, once again, I'm a 21 degree Aries and it goes up to 30. So I might meet another Aries that is 1 degree of an Aries. And we're going to talk about deacons in a minute as well. Where I'm not sure if it's precise, but it's in my notes. So I'm definitely getting to that because that's important as well. Like I said, letters have energy too, just not numbers. Let's take a breather. So, I'm a little ahead of myself in my notes. So, I'm right on time though. Let's not get it construed or misconfused. Anyway, the reason why I embrace astrology is because I started to notice a pattern the deeper that I learned about it, was willing to learn about it. And I'm like, wow, this is deeper than just perspective. This is deeper than just how religious individuals may feel and spiritual people may feel. Because I know a lot of religious people say this is Satan work. Let's be clear. Satan is a mentality. And Satan can interfere with any and everything, including the church. And for anyone to say that's a lie, then explain to me why there are certain pastors who molest children or rape certain feminine souls within the church. That exists. It might not exist in every church, but let's be clear. Satan, aka the mentality, it spreads its way around. There's no limit to where it can go. If you're not protecting yourself spiritually, aka mentally, then expect Satan to dwell anywhere. So for the religious folks that look at astrology as sin, you might want to do a double take and make sure you're not sitting next to someone, whether it be yourself, in a pew in sin, before you sit there and say astrology is sinful. Because let's be clear, sin means error. Oh yeah, I dug deep in terminology. Yes, I do. Yes, I does. So be mindful of the words that come out your mouth. Any and everything could either be sanctified or sindified. Yes, I create terminology that I actually use and make sense of. Yes, I do. Sindified. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Sindified. And in all seriousness, dig deep before you say astrology is full of sin and is of Satan. Make sure you know the words you speak of when you say stuff like that, because just like stuff that is sanctified, sanctified things come with a pattern too, and so do stuff that is holy, that is pure. Now, of course, there's a dark side to astrology. There's a dark side to Christianity. There's a dark side to, matter of fact, let me not even say Christianity, because all religion has a dark side. Let's be clear. All religion systems. And if you want to sugarcoat or try to let me see, what do, so a lot of souls like to come up with new terminology or say, oh, I'm not religion, I'm faith. But faith got a dark side too. How about that? So like I've been saying on Instagram for a while now, the moment you master duality, you control your reality. So you're best to know or learn that there's a dark side to everything. Where there's light, there's darkness. And don't be fooled. Don't be naive about that. Because we can be in denial all we want as individuals. But one thing experience is going to do, experience is going to keep experiencing. Because experience is not going to change for nobody. Them patterns going to speak out to you. And that alone is why I will always embrace astrology. Because those patterns are strong. I couldn't deny astrology if I wanted to. I could, but I look like a fool doing so. Especially gaining all the knowledge that I have gained. Like, denying astrology for me is like denying my birthright. Like, that's like me saying I don't exist. Who you hear is not who you hearing. Who you seeing is not who you seeing. Who you're feeling is not who you're feeling. It's the exact same expression as saying astrology does not exist. So this is deep. And I'm not even finished yet. I'm still on the first page. I got like three pages of notes on astrology. And like I said, this is just the basics. This is not deep. This is not particulars. This is not details. This is not a celebrity reading and stuff like that. And oh, I forgot to put that. Let me put readings on here. See, and I'm gonna take notes as I go if I see that it's relevant for me to do so. Let me box that up so I won't get that confused with other information. I forgot all about that. Readings is a big part of astrology. This should be taught under science. Not taught, because to teach something is to indoctrinate, and I don't indoctrinate. This should be illustrated. This should be tutored. This should be expressed. This form of information should be definitely, what's the term that can best describe astrology? Like astrology should not only be televised, it should be talked about just as much as entertainment, just as much as biology, just as much as any and everything. A trending topic, stuff like the day-to-day things that we talk about in life, astrology should be right up there with it. Because that's another thing. A lot of people that debunk astrology or try to don't even realize that they live in a day-to-day life affected by astrology and don't even know it. Especially when it comes to our health. Like, a lot of people don't know, but biology play a big part in astrology as well. I'm gonna digress for the moment because I didn't get to that side of the notes yet. So let me go back where I left off. I started to notice astrology is accurate, not was, is accurate through the patterns. Yep. And then I went on to write the example down of when I went to high school with someone. They didn't know their zodiac sign. That's accurate. Wow, I got 4 pages of notes, not 3. The number 4 is very powerful, by the way. I digress. So, I talked about the 12 zodiac signs. I gave y'all the dates and the signs. Now, I'm going to talk about the cusp, Now, a lot of individuals don't know that they are cusp babies. They're like, oh no, I'm just a full-blooded Aries, Sagittarius, Capricorn, whoop-de-woo. So I did say degrees separates the zodiac sign as individuals. That's why you most likely not going to meet anyone that's identical mentally, because the degrees separates us. We were all cooked and baked differently. Some was fried, some was baked. No. Okay, let me stop with the foolery and let's get back to the seriousness of astrology. I should be a comedian, y'all. I really should. Anywho, so now, like I said a few minutes ago, if it was lesser than that, than a few seconds ago, I was born April 10th. So lucky for me, I'm not a cusp baby. So the first cusp babies are Aries/Taurus. So let's get into the cusp before I give the date of those. Aries mixed with Taurus energy babies. So I didn't even write that down. One thing I can say though is if you a cusp, you have more, I wouldn't say you have more of a challenge than those who are not cusp. However, you are a mixture of two energies in regards of your sun. Now the sun is dealing with your self-assurance, your self-awareness, the knowing of you. And just like the sun beams out heat, the core you beams out through your energy, and people can feel that. So a lot of cusp babies get looked at as bipolar. They get looked at as Geminis, like they got two sides. And I'm gonna clear that stereotype. I'm so sick and tired of people talking about misrepresenting Geminis. I'm not a Gemini, but I am going to defend them, okay? But I'm gonna digress because it's not gonna be right now. So a lot of cusp babies, they get misidentified as Geminis or bipolar, because a lot of individuals do feel that they carry two different energies, which they do. So they have a greater challenge in a sense because they have two energies within the knowings of themselves, within the self-assurance of themselves, within the core of who they are. The core of an individual is like a piece of an individual that does not change. It's just as powerful as your rising sign, and it could be your rising sign if it's if the energy is conjuncted within the first house, which I'm going to elaborate on that probably in another episode or near the end, if it's accurate for me to do so. So yes, I'm going to look that up right quick. Hopefully y'all can hear me still. Because I have my own terminology for what each zodiac sign is and what aspect of those signs, which, ooh, I can't wait to get to that. And I'm getting to that today in this episode. I ain't waiting on that. I know y'all, for those who are loyal listeners to my podcast, a lot of y'all can get tired of me saying, oh, I'm going to talk about this in the next episode, or I'm going to talk about that in this season. No. Everything dealing with astrology, that's a part of the basics I'm talking about today. Now, so as this slow data of mine loads up, so what I'm going to do, everyone that's still listening, I'm going to look into my terminology, my connotation of cusp in astrology. You know what? I'm looking in the wrong file. I'm gonna get to it though, even if I have to take my time, because I'm not rushing. Not rushing at all. This is sacred information. This is essential knowledge here. This is not what a lot of people is talking about. And those who do, some may be talking about it incorrectly. And that's another problem within itself. Okay. I'm so glad I took previous notes before I took the notes that I've took. Because this is exactly what I need to look at. Okay. I just have to find it right quick. Hold on just a second, everyone. Alrighty, so back to where I left off. Cusp energy is the energy that I'm talking about right now within astrology. So, cusp is dealing with the cause and effect of the effect. So what I mean by that is, because there's two zodiac signs, aka two energies emerging, there's going to be a cause and effect. For example, Aries Taurus energy, that cusp starts through April 16th through April 22nd. So you might get both sides of the fence. You might get someone who was born from April 16th through April 22nd, both sides of the energy, Aries and Taurus, and how they merge together. And if one is more evolved than the other, then you would get more of one energy than the other. But if that individual is balanced, then you will get both. You will get both energies presented to you in a very unique manner. Cusp babies usually stand out. Cusp individuals, just in case those who don't like to be called babies. Anywho, they usually stand out because they usually have two sides of perspectives when it comes to just communicating overall, which is very impressive to me. So, Taurus Gemini cusp start May 17th through May 23rd. Gemini in Cancer cusp, June 17th through June 23rd. Cancer in Leo cusp, July 19th through July 25th. Leo in Virgo cusp, August 19th through August 25th. Virgo in Libra cusp is September 19th through September 25th. Libra and Scorpio cusp is October 19th through October 25th. Scorpio and Sagittarius cusp, which we actually in that now, is November 18th through November 24th. Sagittarius and Capricorn cusp is December 18th through December 24th. Capricorn and Aquarius cusp is January 16th through January 23rd. Aquarius and Pisces cusp is February 15th through February 21st. This is the first shall be last and the last shall be first energy right here. Pisces and Aries cusp is March 17th through March 23rd. Okay, so I want to dig a little deeper. Now I said cusp is the cause and effect of the core sign, which is the sun sign. It's deeper than that. The cusp energy is the only energy that transform as if it was the number 8 energy, which is Scorpio energy, which is Pluto energy. So, but it's not, and here's why. The reason, just like, I'm not going to say just like because there is a difference and I'm going to explain it. So, the signs that are not cusp, which I already list, is the 12 zodiac signs without the numerology being attached to it, although it still is, but it's not on a deeper level like the cusp. So remember when I said that, for example, Aries season, March 21st through April 19th, is 30 degrees. When cusp is involved, then they are 6 degrees apart. Now, that's when the zodiac sign transition from one to the next. And that's what makes cusp different from the season. So it's a part of the season, but it's the ending and beginning of another season. And that's what makes cusp individuals special, because they were born to transcend. So those who are not cusp individuals, we are attached to our core. Yes, we have a backbone, which is our deacon, and I will get into that. For example, I'm a 21 degree Aries, meaning my deacon is in Sagittarius, based off the particular degree that is in. And so that is considered my backbone, my defense mechanism. Cusp, they still have a deacon, they have a defense mechanism, but they also have a mission to transcend within a core. So you know how someone is you might meet someone who's always consistent with who they are. You might see a lot of transformations with those who are cusp, like from April 16th through April 22nd, babies, individuals, so to speak. Like, they may be comedians one year, next year they on some philosophy type of energy, because they constantly finding themselves, they constantly transition. I said transitioned. But they constantly evolving and transforming from the Aries ending to the Sagittarius beginning. I said Sagittarius, goodness gracious. From the Aries, they is leaving Aries energy and transforming and entering Taurus energy for those who were born April 16th through April 22nd. So I just wanted to elaborate on the cusp, because that's very important. It's the energy of transformation. If you're a cusp, your core purpose is to transcend from the ending of one energy to the interest of another. So, like I said, why are these dates particular? Because they are 6 degrees apart. Okay. Going into the mode, let's talk about it. Modes. Let me take a breather, because this is a lot of information, and I'm correcting myself as I go. I done said Aries and Sagittarius. I'm still stuck on my deacon. That's crazy. Speaking of modes, because we are in modes, no, they're not the same. I'm glad I corrected myself. Sagittarius is a mutable sign. Aries is a fit. Oh no, Aries is cardinal. Oh no, child, we ain't a part of that bunch. Anyway. I am crazy, y'all. That's why they so big on that freedom. Now, I'm gonna look at my notes right quick, y'all. Hold on just a second, because I should have wrote it down. And I didn't. Okay, well, since I didn't wrote it down, hold on just a second. Because I'm gonna get this right, y'all. And I'm glad all my notes is together. They not separated too far apart. That's the good thing about it. I don't have to have y'all waiting for so long. At all. Hopefully I'm not breaking up. Yes, I was correct. So Sagittarius is a mutable sign. I'm going to talk about those right now, actually, because that's the next section I have entered. That is the next section I've entered. So, the modes. I'm going to talk about the modes in the sense of the situations Now, the accentuations of astrology is the actions with an S at the end, of emphasizing something. So, for example, there are 3 accentuations. Now, I might not pronounce them correctly because I'm just learning about these yesterday or the day before. So this is brand new for me. But not only am I learning as I go, but everyone that's tuning in will learn the accentuations as well as y'all follow along with me. And I never heard astrologers talk about the accentuations before, never. So this is the first time. And the only reason why I mention it because I took notes. That means I know it now. Not from the top of my head, but from the notes I've taken. So that counts for something. So, ascendant is the first accentuation. It's attached to the modes, one mode in particular, which is the fixed zodiac signs. So, let's look into that. The fixed zodiac signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpios, Aquarius. So, ascendant is the stable and fixed. It is also the steady and happy with the resources available type of individuals. So what do I mean by that? I hope that didn't cut you off. I had to switch the data. Anywho, so what do I mean by that? And I'm gonna say that again. The ascendant, I'm gonna just go right into it. The ascendant of the situations is the steady and happy with the resources available individuals, meaning these are the individuals who, when resources are available to them, they get accustomed to that and they are fixated on that information. It is hard to get them to switch sides or turn against the resources they have gained availability towards. For example, if you train a child up into believing that the tooth fairy is real and they are fixated sign, they might be in their 30s and 40s still holding on to that fairy, the tooth fairy that is. So not all, but that's just an example of how someone can be fixated and not willing to be mutable type of individuals. These are the individuals you're gonna have to come with some hardcore facts in order to change their mind about anything. So once sources are available to them, they adapt to it and they are fixated, and once again it's hard to change their mind. Now, and like I said, this is the action of an individual emphasizing with something. So this is how they emphasize. Individuals who are ascendant. And if you want to know in particular where you're ascendant at in your natal chart, you have to know what time you were born. So let's get to another accentuation that affects the mode, and it's called angular. So I went from this ascendant, now I'm entering into the angular. The angular is how you deal with the present and the actions you take. Dealing with the present. So these are the cardinal signs energy, which is Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. This is those energies in regards to the in angular. Now that might be different in regards of every natal chart because numerology plays a part in astrology, okay? That's why it's important to know what time you were born. So these individuals are not like the ascendant of the accentuations. So those who have strong angular energy, these are the ones that is going to take action. These are going to be the ones the first to do something. They're going to be the leaders, the influencers, the the problem solvers, the solution orientated ones, especially if they have strong degrees. Okay, so let's talk about the candent. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. This is the mutable energy of the accentuations. These are the ones that process before they take action, as well as break down the resources. So it's not that they fixated like the fixed signs. And let me go back into the mutable, because I did mention the mutable was Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. No, I did not mention that, but I just mentioned it. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces. They are the mutable signs. These are the ones that's not going to be quick to rebel, and these are the ones that's not going to be quick to lead, but they are going to be quick to examine. Okay? Okay. So, I really rock with this energy because I'm a fact checker. I always check my facts before I dictate my moves. And I don't know if they have something to do with the conjunction of my, which chart is this? Tropical chart, which I'm going to elaborate on a little bit. I'm not going to go deep into it because it deserves its own episode. So, there's a lot of particulars, a lot of details within astrology. So for those who say it's fake, it's false, for something to be false, this show has a lot of information attached to it. Once again, moving on. So I'm going to dig deep and talk about those. Everything that all the basics that I'm giving is going to have its own episode so far, and it's a lot. Okay, it's a lot. Ooh, child. All right, let's get into another section right quick. The conjure. Yeah, conjure. So that's dealing with like look at the natal chart as a pie, and it's sliced up in 4 sections. So you have the first section, the second, the third, and the fourth. So that's what the quadrant represent. Now the first slice of the natal chart, aka the pie, is the solo individuality. This is not how you interact with the world. This is how you interact with yourself. This is how you identify with yourself. Have you ever heard of the term soul searching? This is where all that begins, in the first quadrant. Now the second quadrant, people use this word a lot, is the quadrant of manifestation, being creative and productive with their creativity. The third quadrant, it shines when it is engaged with others, rather through relationships, inspiration. They said teaching, but I'm gonna go ahead and say instructing, or in being insightful, or just deep intimacy, which is dealing with like a significant other. The fourth quadrant is dealing with dealing with leaders that take part in a collective effort. So this is like the humanity placement, I basically just summed that up. So this is like where preachers will be, people will have presidential traits, Malcolm X's, just strong, impactful people, but just dealing with the collective, on a collective side of things. And also, hemisphere is what I'm going to talk about a little bit, but before I do that, I just want to mention readings. Now, I mentioned readings a few minutes back. So readings are basically when astrologers read someone's natal chart. And when you read someone's natal chart, you're basically tending to you basically digging into that person's life, to that person's reality. Whether it be past, present, future. It depends on how far that individual want to take it. So I'm gonna dig deeper into that, because that wasn't even the surface. That was just like a brief introduction of readings. I'm gonna give examples and stuff, so don't mind me. And I also don't want to rush, because this is essential information that I have for you. It may seem basic to some, but it's really deep once I really get into it. So, the hemisphere. Now, one thing I found interesting with this is I was using the Westerner map, and I realized that how astrology viewed the globe, how astrology viewed the world, and the design of this earth, the land of the surface that we walk on, the ground that we walk on, it is not the same as the individuals who created the map. So y'all know how north is up, south is down. To my left is the west, to my right is the east. It is totally different in astrology. I was shocked by that. I was blown away. So let's talk about that for a minute. So in the hemisphere in astrology, the north is actually downward. It's not up. It's not up. And the south is actually upward. It's not down. East is actually on my left wing, and west is actually on my right wing in astrology. And this may be some truth to it, because I noticed for the south to be downward, the weather is so warm throughout the whole 4 seasons. And the warmer an area is, the closer they are to the sun. And the sun is up. It's not towards the ground. It's not coming from below. The sun is up in the sky. So it will make sense for the south to be upward if the weather is warmer, because that means they're closer to the sun than those who are north. So why would the north be up and the sun is north? Something don't add up. That don't even make sense saying it. If the sun is up in the north, it gets cold in northern areas of the map, is what I'm saying, y'all. It gets real cold. That don't sound like that's closer to the sun to me. That don't sound like it's closer to the sun at all. Because don't the sun bring warmth? The sun don't bring cold energy at all. The sun do not bring cold energy at all. Message. That was deep. That was deep. I'm gonna dig deeper into that, and I'm gonna keep saying that. Like, wow. So the map that we look at as Westerners of the United States is totally backwards. And someone said that on TikTok. Matter of fact, I hope I did save that video. And to come across the information again without even that individual being involved lets me know that information is accurate. That's deep. So the hemisphere in astrology is not only dealing with exposing what a north, east, west, south is really located at. It describes the energy behind it too. So I'm going to talk about that briefly. But before I do that, I just want to talk about how that so this is what I want to talk about right quick. The quadrants can be split into like 4 slices, like it was pie. The hemisphere can be split into 2. The top being the south, because the sun is within the sky. And the north, which is farther from the sun, is at the bottom. And that's when the moon rises. So for those who were born at night, you are ruled by the moon. For those who were born in the morning, you are ruled by the sun. And when I say you, I'm talking about your energy. And it does play a part in our life path. All right. So like I was saying before I was rudely cut off. So if you was born during the day, during the rise of the sun, then your journey is guided by that energy that comes with it. Okay? Okay. If you were born in the night owls like myself, then your energy, your theme of your life, your journey is guided by the moon. So that is something that was interesting to me when I was learning the difference between the quadrants and the hemisphere within astrology, and how it's divided and sliced differently from it being sliced into into 4 pieces when it comes to the quadrant, but in the hemisphere it's sliced into 2. So that was very interesting and very detailed. Very, very detailed. So let me talk about the quadrant a little more. So there's more details with that. I already talked about the numerology side of the quadrant. It's like 2. Yeah, I'm correct. Okay, I'm doing better. So it's actually 2 sides of it. I already talked about the first energy of it, the second, the third, and the fourth. And I had him confused. Wait a minute, let me double check that. Because I'm going to do a visual. Maybe not. Wow, I didn't mess up. So the first part of the quadrant is at the bottom to my left. The second is to the bottom to my right. Now the fourth is to my left. The third part of the quadrant is to my right. There's a message behind that too. That's why I mentioned it. Now, to the letterology side of it, which is a new term that I came up with. I'm going to talk about south, north, east, west. I'm still flabbergasted about that, y'all, because why did scientists or whoever, why flip the map like that? Why lie? Like, why is the northern hemisphere upside down? Why is it up when it's down? It's the farthest from the sun. Like, are you dumb? There's something behind that. I don't know what it is, but when I find out, I will share. Sure will. Cause I ain't scared. Cause why lie? And this just come to prove that astrology is not false. Yeah, there could be some false to it, because you liars want a piece of every piece of pie, no matter what pie it is, whether it be a pie of astrology, a pie of numerology, a pie of religion, a pie of spirituality. Liars want a part of everything. Okay, so of course there's some lies about astrology, because you got people lying about it. But for the truth, I shall speak. Yes, I will. Like I said, it's the duality of things. When you master duality, you control your reality. So, why lie? I'm here to bring truth, though. I'll tell you that much. Because I'm not lying this way. Still stunned by that. So, let's talk about the letterology of it. So, the northern part of the atmosphere, which is at the bottom, farthest from the sun, it is the ram. They all are separate rams. And this is the quadrant part of it. I'm quite sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. I have a strong accent. Don't mind me. So the northern part of the atmosphere is the realm of privacy, contemplativeness, and self-pursuit. So these are my people who are focused on self-pursuit. So I'm going to use me as an example. I have a lot of placements in my northern atmosphere. So I'm more private than anything. We can be looked at as sneaky individuals, untrustworthy because we are not so relevant to the public. We can be great detectives though. So those who down us gonna need us, okay? Message. Let's get into the south atmosphere, which is above, the closest to the sun. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the order. The southern part of the atmosphere of the conjure is the realm of public. So this is the opposite of the north. This is the public realm of life, an image. So this is all about appearance, representation. This is all about any and everything that's dealing with the public eyes. Not eye. We got two set of eyes, not one eyesight, and that's it. That one symbolism get on my nerves. One eye symbol get on my nerves, I'm telling y'all. It's a message behind that too. Anywho, let's stick with astrology, Cree. Let's stick with astrology. Total opposite of the northern atmosphere. This is publicity. This is who are you in the public. This can also dive into the collective. It really can. But that's where the western part of the atmosphere come in at. This is the part that's actually to the, let me make sure I got this correct, to the right part of the atmosphere, not the left. So the western realm is of individuals, ideas, or the public at large. So this is deeper than just public image, public life, because the south atmosphere is dealing with you as an individual and how you react to the public in your image while in the public, while the western atmosphere is of individuals more than just you. It's more of an interaction of the collective. The eastern, which is actually to my left, well, everyone's left, is the realm of self-motivation and what you generate on your own. Not from others, but on your own. Like, what motivates you? What gives you a drive, that push, that force? How do you get stuff done on your own without being told? This is more of self-improvement, self-development, self-will when it comes to the western atmosphere. And like I said, I'm going to talk about all of it. Right now, this is just the basics. And there's a lot of basicness. Who child? So yeah, that's enough for my numerology and letterology of it. And I'm going to do my own different episodes of those two because those are powerful as well. All right, I'm going to leave this open just in case I need some references. Need to go back to these notes. But until then, let's get to the notes that I haven't got to, y'all. Oh yeah, there's a lot. Let's get to it. Oh child, I'm about to pass out. Not literally. This is, you know what, let me not even put that into existence. I do not need to pass out. I got too much going on to be passing out. Anywho, astrology is one of many portals, okay? Another word for portal is a door that is opened up. A door of what? A door of knowledge, secrets, anything that was not in the public eye once before that is becoming relevant and exposed to the public eye now. So let's talk about these portals, parts of it that makes up the whole of astrology. Oh goodness gracious. So this one I'm going to do, everyone. Oh, so help me. This one will take up. Let me not even complain. All right, y'all. I'm still with y'all. Hold on just a moment. I'm so glad I took notes. I would have gave up and said, you know what, I ain't doing this series. This is why I take notes. Because I would have left something out if I didn't take notes. I know I would have. This is too much. Okay. My little brain like, ooh, child. I don't got a big forehead. Yeah, I got a small forehead. So I gotta break it down like that mutable energy. Yes, I do. Yeah. Let me stop being silly. Get to it. Alrighty. Like I said, I'm glad everything not far away. So let's talk about the aspects of astrology, because a lot of people, and I'm not gonna get the details, I'm just gonna give the basics. Like I'm just gonna just call out the names like I did with well, like I'm going to do. Yeah, pretty much. All right, I'm gonna address it. So, well, before I do, I just want to make this statement. A lot of people just think astrology is dealing with the sun sign and the sun sign only, like Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and that's it. End all be all. Oh no, it doesn't start there. It doesn't stop there. It's not even in the middle. Ooh, child, that's not even the crumbs, okay? Let's get into the first aspect of astrology. Oh, goodness. Well, I wouldn't even say aspect. I would say that's what I needed to do. So some of these are aspects. Let me tell you what aspects are. Aspects are the planets. And let me make sure I got this right. I'm going to look at my notes, y'all. I'm not going to mess this up. Okay, let's get to it then. So, how planets act out in different signs is aspects. That's the aspects. So, now asteroids are the minor planets called rocky objects. So they really planets, but they're not considered planets because they're smaller. Which is unfair. Like, why size gotta be, why they gotta discriminate in size, you know? A planet is a planet. But that's asteroids. I'm gonna talk about asteroids. The elements is fire, water, earth, and air. So the fire signs are Aries, Leos, Sagittarius. The water signs is Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Poor babies, I almost forgot about them. The earth signs, ooh, bear with me, y'all, because I'm saying this from the top of my head. And I'm accurate so far. I know I am. Because I'm a fire sign, so I know I ain't get that misconstrued. That's how I know I'll be accurate. Anywho, so if you know one element, then you'll know the rest. Because you're opposite. So fire opposite element is air. And I know those. So let's get into the air. Dang, I'm just going to skip the earth, huh? Let's get into the earth element, then the air. So the earth elements is Capricorn, Taurus, Gemini. Nope. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Them the earth signs. So I'm going to say it again. Capricorn, Taurus, Gemini. Them the earth signs. Now the air sign. Wait a minute. I hope I didn't say Gemini. Oh, sweet goodness gracious. The air signs. I'm going to say it one more time just for my clarity. The air signs is next, Kriya. This is earth. Earth signs, Kriya. Matter of fact, let me put my hand on that side of the paper. The earth signs are Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Po Virgos. I keep replacing y'all with Geminis. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Goodness gracious, them the earth signs. Now let's get to the earth signs because they want attention so bad. Libras, attention seekers. Libra is an air sign. Gemini, dang, finally, Gemini, you got your shine. Goodness gracious. And Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. So that's the elements. And I already talked about the modes, so I ain't gonna talk about that again. And then I'm gonna say this part. So let's talk about I need to come up with a name. The layers. I'm gonna call it the layers. The layers of astrology. Now some of them are planets, and I don't know how to pronounce it. So I'm gonna give some of these a nickname. That's why I'm gonna do a video. Once I start talking about the aspects, I'm gonna do a video. The aspects and the asteroids. Because honey, let me tell you something. I'm not gonna play. I am not gonna play. So let's before I get the hiccups, let me pause. That me. Okay. So let's talk about the layers. I might not talk about all of them because I don't know how to pronounce some of these. And I am not going to be misrepresenting myself by saying the wrong. So the ones I don't pronounce, I'm going to just give y'all a total of layers there are. Or portals. I'm going to call them portals. Portals / layers. Because there's many doors to astrology. So bear with me, y'all. For I bear with me. So the first portal of astrology is the ascendant sign. Then there's the descendant. There's the sun sign, the moon sign, the earth sign. Let me say that again because a lot of astrologers leave this out. Earth sign. Nobody talks about that. Everybody talks about the moon and the rising, aka the ascendant. And the sun sign, that's the most popular one, which I mentioned earlier. So anyway, the earth sign, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Some people say Uranus. I'm going to say Uranus. Uranus, Neptune, the cusp, which I talked about, North Node, South Node, Deacon. I was going to dig deeper into that, but no. Once I'm going to do a whole different episode on this. I'm just listing the basics right now. Lilith, Chiron, Port of Fortune, Ceres. Yeah, these were the difficult names coming in there, y'all. Pillars, or is it Palace? It's one of them. Juno, Vesta, Eros, Cephi, Psyche. I don't know if this Aries or Eris. Felis, child. These is the ghetto names. I'm gonna give them. Like I said, I'm giving these nicknames because I don't know them. Sedani. Oh goodness gracious. Charcoal. No, let me stop playing. Not that I said charcoal. Cherilico or something like that. Humani, Mecca, Haji or something like that. Johnny, Hygiene. I'm telling y'all, the names get difficult when you dig deeper. Now I know how to pronounce this one. This one is Imam Chali. That is the opposite of the midheaven, and then you got the shadow side. You got the oriental planet. You got the occidental planet. You have the vertex, the Torah, the oracle, and child, let's say the best for last. This is where astrology get deeper than deep, and I ain't finna list all these. Okay, I am not finna play with y'all. I ain't even play with myself. 64, y'all. There are 64 gen keys. Oh my goodness. And I ain't finna list them either. No. I'm gonna have to get him. I'm just gonna have his own episode. I can't. It's not that I can't. I won't right now. I'm already exhausted by this. Okay. You ain't gotta remind me, because, child, I'm gonna look back at these notes in this episode. This is the longest episode I've done. The longest episode I've done, y'all. Okay, so bear with me. Bear with me. There are a total of 107 portals. Now, if you break 107 down, it when you break the number in numerology, 107 down, it reduces to the number 8, which is Scorpio energy. And I ain't finna touch on numerology right now. Okay, this is about astrology. I'm gonna do numerology. I ain't gonna put no date on it, because something always coming up. But just know it's gonna get done. Phew, I'm shocked I got that out the way. Now, back to this 64 gene keys. This is the code of consciousness, and it's a lot. Like I said, it's 64. I ain't finna touch on that. Now, that deserves its own episode, and I'm gonna have to take notes on that too. Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I'm gonna do it. I ain't gonna complain. Don't complain, Cree. Don't complain. Alrighty. I'm almost finished. Oh goodness, there's another side. I'm finna faint. Didn't I say I wasn't gonna say that? Oh. Okay. I digress. I ain't done. Y'all thought I was finished? Oh no. Astrology said no. I want to give you a headache. This is worse than cat. I said. I ain't even finna say what I just almost said. This is deeper than calculus. People be afraid of calculus, and I'm like, no, child, try astrology. This will give you a headache, a migraine, all types of grains. Whew. Astrological timeline of our ages. Let me say that again. I know you're like, what? What they got to do with what you just said? It don't. I'm just moving on to the next layer of astrology. So, matter of fact, it actually does got a lot to do with what I just said. Anywho, astrological timeline of our ages. Did y'all know from birth to where die is calculated through astrology? I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna create a whole visual on that. Like, oh my goodness, I'm putting this. All the visuals going on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Cree-Cree Vá'Tee, CREE dash CREE dash Vá'Tee, VATEE. I'm trying not to have the hiccups. That's why I keep pausing. Anywho, astrological timeline. It starts off from 0 to 9. And it's the collective energy that everyone has. So everyone is affected by the astrological timeline of our ages. It's a collective. That's deep. Okay. I'm going to talk about the planetary rulerships, which is the, I hope I don't pronounce this wrong, dignities and debilities. So the dignities is the exalted, and the debilities is where the exalt fall. So for example, Aries exalt in the sun. No, correction. Aries actually exalt. It does exalt in the sun. It does very well in the sun. But there's another. Okay, I'm getting Capricorn mixed up. Capricorn energy exalts in Mars. Mars is ruled by Aries. That's why I was getting that mixed up. But yes, Aries exalts in the sun. It falls, which is the debility. It falls in Libra. So it's a detriment. They're opposite signs. It's deeper than just that. So you might come across a lot of elements within astrology, layers in astrology, that are similar to other layers, but it's just basically a deeper meaning of it. It's like a paper trail. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, now, if y'all thought the astrological timeline of ages was something, and I ain't even going into the details with that, the astrological body, this is what anatomy comes in at. Yeah, astrology is a part of that. Y'all didn't know that, did you? A lot of y'all didn't. Some astrologers don't even talk about this. I ain't even going into the details. I'm just listing off some titles that I will be talking about in this series within the series of astrology and of my podcast, ultimately, the Cree-Cree Vá'Tee evolution. I'm also going to talk about the 13 Zodiac signs. So there was one Zodiac sign that I never heard of a day in my life until a few years ago that was added to astrology, which throwed off the whole algorithm of the 12 Zodiac signs, obviously, because there's one added, and I'm going to talk about that. There's some accuracy to it. Then again, there was a purpose behind it too, because it went from the number 3 to 4 in numerology. So there was an energy shift. There was a reason why whoever added something to astrology, they did that on purpose. Just like they flipped the map upside down. Message. So I already talked about the 4 quadrants. I talked a little bit about the rise and the sunset. So when the sun set, the moon rise. When the sun rise, the moon set. I talked about the house accentuations, which is the suspended, angular, and the candent. I'm going to talk about dominant planets, dominant signs, and dominant houses. I'm also going to talk about the zodiac birthstones. For example, I'm an Aries. The birthstone of Aries is the crystal clear diamond. That's an example. I'm also going to talk a bit. I'm not going to talk about it too heavy because I don't know too much about it, but I'm going to learn about it, and we're going to learn about it together, which is the Chinese aspect of astrology, the Indian aspect of astrology. So this is deep. Okay, this is deep. I was about to say these are Western countries. Not, yeah, you might as well say they're Western countries since the map is upside down. But if you're talking about the plagiarized side of the map, then these countries are considered Eastern countries. Yeah, according to the plagiarized map. Anywho, message. I am going to talk about the traits, the symbols. Now, symbolism is something, that needs an episode of its own. But I'm going to talk about how symbols apply to astrology. And I'm quite sure if you know your zodiac sign, you know your symbol that's attached to it. For example, I'm an Aries. The symbol of Aries is a ram in the so-called Western side of the map, which is really the Eastern. But hey, we're gonna talk about that another time. United States. United States. How interesting. Anywho. I'm going to talk about the key phrases. For example, Aries key phrase is I am. I'm going to talk about the mobility phrase, which is I'm going to give another example using Aries since that's the first zodiac sign. It's cardinal, and that's dealing with being intuitive. I just want to make sure that was right. Oh, intensive, because that's also dealing with Scorpio, but Scorpio and Aries share more, so I wouldn't be surprised if they both correlate in that sense as well, being intuitive, which I'm quite sure they do. Anyway, and of course I'm going to talk about the seasons: spring, fall, summer, winter. Yeah, let's talk about how Capricorn season starts off the so-called year in this so-called Western part of the land. Winter doesn't start off the season. Spring does. But yet we celebrate New Year's January 1st. Who is we? Let me take that back. they celebrate New Year's January 1st. I celebrate New Year's when every season starts. Anywho, well, precisely when you want to add into numerology, I celebrated April 1st. And that's part of the reason why I celebrated April 1st. Anywho, let me see. I don't want to leave none out. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the different house systems. One of the main house systems I use is the sidereal chart and the tropical chart. I'm going to talk about the whole house system as well. I have all this stuff. I'm going to talk about the chart rulers, the house systems. It's just a lot. The archetype. For example, Aries archetype is survivor. Oh, goodness gracious, I'm finished. Yeah. I'm going to celebrate. I sure am. I'm going to celebrate. So, this is the longest episode I've ever done. And, until next time. Because let me tell y'all something. I'm not playing. I'm going to give y'all the most accurate information. And if I come across with some corrections along the way, I guarantee you I'm going to do that. I'm going to do just that. I'm going to correct information along the way. But I can guarantee you I haven't been wrong yet. Because I haven't went into the details yet to be wrong. So this is just the longest basic information I've ever done in my life. So until next time, Adagayudi and Wada Haida Kadish.